Baby doll hot chocolate, breaking news. The crypto exchange Bittrex has agreed to pay $24 million fine for the SEC. The SEC clowns tried to sue them, and they did. They took them to court. I'm now here to ask you, what do you think about this, friends? This only took 4 months. That's the good news. If you are following the story of Richard Hart and Hex and PulseChain and PulseX all together and the SEC bogus clown claims, this is going to make you think, because it took a long time for XRP to settle, but this is much shorter in time. And this is a chart of XRP here. I just want to give you an appreciation for how long it took. Right, this was Christmas of 2020 when the SEC came to attack Ripple, and this is when it finally started to go up. This was 931 days, friends. That's a long time. I mean, you can even bring that up. 930 days divided by 30. It's about 31 months for the XRP case. That's why we are celebrating this good news. Bittrex have settled after just 4 months. Compare 4 months to 31 months. That's a big time. And here I ask you, the audience, my baby dolls, right? Do you think Richard Hart will fight the SEC, the clowns? Do you think he's going to fight their rubber noses and their painted faces? Or do you think he's going to settle? Whatever he does, he's probably going to weigh it up. What's best for him? I know people want everybody to consider the community, but look, friends, at the end of the day, do you honestly think we matter at this point? We don't really matter to anybody, friends. It's just we're outsiders, all right? We're outsiders. We're not going to be in the court case. We don't know what's going on. We're the ones who held for 2 years plus. Don't worry, we're going to laugh about it later, okay? This is where we have to think. What comes next? We don't know. It is 100% uncertain. I'm not going to lie to you and say, yeah, it's going to be sweet. We have no idea, man. We have no idea. Is he going to... He's got multiple cards that he can play, friends. We don't know. There are different paths that he can play, all right? By the way, this is the Pulse chart. PLS, we are still in the doo-doo zone. We are obviously still crushed, minus 45% below day one sack. PulseX is still annihilated as well. It is just absolutely shocking. It's down 83% below the day one sack as well. Hex, still shocking. Combined Hex is 1.5 cents. It broke 2022 low, which means the value, unfortunately, it was not net value add. Even though more people came in, the market said, hey, we are giving most of the value to Pulse, PLS, and then everything else is distributing. So this is just what it is. We have to play the cards that we're dealt, friends. So what can Richard do? Well, that's why I've asked the community, but just to let you know. So firstly, he can fight. F for fight. He can fight. We don't know how long it's going to take. We don't know what the terms and conditions are. There's also the settle, okay? So there's this settle here. He can just say, yep, I'm going to settle. But he has to then figure out, all right, does this impact the future of PulseChain ecosystem? Because are there going to be, like Richard, right, the duck himself, whenever he thinks about things, he doesn't think about next year. He thinks like 15 years ahead. So in his mind, it would not be like weird for him to be thinking, okay, I'm thinking about ETFs coming to me in the future. Like, he would be thinking that, friends. He's generally thinking about, okay, I want government ETFs to buy into PulseChain ecosystem. I want us to be listed on the NASDAQ. Does it impact us whether or not we just settled with the SEC to say that I'm a fraudster and this thing was a security? Does this have any impact on it? For all we know, he's probably researching cases right now. Did anything get listed where it didn't matter? Okay, so that's something he's got to weigh up. Me and you don't know. We don't know we don't know what's going on in that beak of his. All right, so that's the second thing you can do. There is actually a third option, which I read in a comment. Shout out to the baby doll who actually suggested this, because I completely forgot about this option. Okay, first one's fight. Second one is settle. Third one, I for ignore. Because someone said, I mean, friends, just think about this, okay? When I saw this, I was like, I got to grab this and show the baby doll baby cakes. Because yes, it's true. He can actually, I don't know how much this is going to work out, but he can actually say, Richard doesn't read any DMs or messages, right? And he just stretches this out as long as possible. I don't know. I have no idea, right? Friends, he could be researching cases where someone else did this like 10 or 15 years ago and it worked out sweet. And the judge ended up giving like some sort of like neutral, weird ruling where you're not guilty, but you pay a fine. But you're still revealed not guilty. You know what I mean? Some kind of like some mediation. I don't know. Obviously, we don't know. So many unknowns. I wish I had answers for you. I don't. All we can go off is it's a past. XRP took 31 months. Bittrex took 4 months. Where the hell do we stand? We got no idea. I can tell you right now, they're after Solana, Matic, Polygon. They're after everyone. They called Solana a security. They called Charles Hoskinson coin a security. They called Matic, Polygon a security. Right, by the way, they all are. They all have institutions. They all have offices and buildings, right? Wink, wink. So maybe the SEC clown's goal is just literally settle with everybody. They're like, hey, if we get 20 million out of 10 institutions, we raise almost $250 million. Maybe that's their strategy. I don't know. I wish I knew. And obviously, the baby dolls are also catching on. So Mr. Sin saying, isn't it obvious by now that the clown commission is only about filling their fiat bags and most likely buying up crypto to dump on everyone just before Lazar, which is BlackBerry, right? The founder, the owner of BlackBerry, right? Before Lazar scams us all, the lizard man. Just a thought, yes, this is 100% true. 100% seems to be happening. I mean, if you were sitting here mapping this out, you're like, uh-oh, everything looks like it's playing out that path. So that's something to think about. And also Picky, which I love that username, by the way. Picky asks, settling with the SEC can look weird because it can be taken wrongly by the community. Like, yes, I defrauded you with some money. Now let's move on. On the other hand, everyone in the community wants the SEC lawsuit to be passed behind us. It's a hard question here. Ideally, we pick a fight and win. Yes, that's what we don't know, friends. The overhanging, the SEC, the looming. See, look, who loves you? All right. Obviously, I love you. That's why I only put my best work in front of you. I don't ask you to buy anything. I don't ask you to do anything. I'm just here to report to you. Hey, you want extra information out there? Competitive edge, I'll give it to you. I'm just here to tell you my targets were already lowered. You know me, friends. My targets were hugely lowered from the average consensus crowd before the SEC case. And I'm going to go through that as well. So I'm already mentally prepared if what comes next turns out to be true. So once again, he just has to reiterate, friends. So MG81 asking, can't he just ask them to hurry up and pay his little charade, right? And I reply, he's saying he could, but it could impact the projects who might want to come into PulseChain in the future. See, that's what we don't know, friends. So that's why Richard, look, he's a smart dude, all right? He's looked at all the projects on Ethereum and he's like, ooh, how did these projects get funded? Did they require VC money or did they require a little bit of money? He might be looking at MakerDAO, looking at Uniswap, looking at all the other things on Ethereum and looking at what made them where they are. Was it all the VC money or was it the community? You're actually going to find out, friends, it was actually the community. So these big VC money, they're mostly subhuman filth, right? And just trash. And they're here to just grift retailers. The people come first. We are the outsiders. Yes, we're all poor, but we come first. Because we all band together, then there is a market demand. We actually make the market. These VCs, they go and do Craptos and Sui and Solana with all the grifting and stuff. They don't actually have a market. They need us. So that's why it's important if you're a CULT cult. Because everybody bands together in one group. You literally have a beehive of demand. If I was a developer and a coder and I saw 200,000 people that are going to use my product 100%, of course I'm going to make something for it. That's something to think about. And now we have to laugh, friends. We have to balance it out with some laughing. So shout out to Mr. Hex Orangutan. He actually found this anxiety book, which has coping skills. Oh, look, I'm not going to lie, friends. Okay, what I did was I went through the questions you're meant to ask yourself to make you feel better. And I'm just going to be honest, it doesn't make you feel better. We have to laugh. I'm telling you, you have to laugh. If you don't laugh now, you're never going to laugh. Okay, these are the moments you're going to remember. These are the golden years. This is us in the trenches. Our backs against the wall. They've given us 0% chance to live, and then we're going to come out fighting, and we're going to win. I promise you we're going to win. Okay, so coping skills. The first question they ask is my thoughts based on facts or feelings? Answer. Unfortunately, it's all facts, friends. No feelings here. Yes, Hex is actually minus 99%. Pulse and PulseX sacrifice was the wrong move. Yes, after 2 years. Surprise, surprise. All right. And also question, how would my best friend see the situation? And let's be honest, friends. Everybody outside of crypto, they don't know what a log chart is. Okay. They're going to look at the linear chart. Let's be honest. All right. Next question as well. How likely is it my fear would come true? It's funny. We live the fear. It's not even anxiety. You know the Wall Street cheat sheet? I have it here. See, anxiety's here, like the worst is coming, the worst is coming. Let's be honest, man. We're actually just full on depression. Like it actually happened. Like, what else are you going to do now? You've swiped our legs. There's nothing left. So glass half empty, glass half full. Look, you're going to have to take the glass half full approach because if you go back in history, So many times it looked over, and guess what? We're all still standing. It's not over. I mean, the government's literally like 6 weeks away from just flat out telling us aliens are real friends. Like, anything can happen. But it is funny to think about. One of the biggest hex marketing branding talking points, right, in 2020 was these imaginary horribles. But it actually happened. It actually happened this time. Down 99%. Imaginary horrible? No, it actually is a reality horrible, okay? And the SEC came after Richard Hart, and sacrificing did not avoid the bear market at all. Like, it just, honestly, life kicks you in the nuts. And then even if you're a girl, okay, they'll kick you in the ovaries. Everyone gets kicked, friends. That's it. You get on the floor, still getting kicked in the head, kicked in the nuts. You got no more genitals left. It's over. All right? It's not over, okay? We're still breathing. We're still here. We still have our friendship. What's most likely to happen? Honestly, next question, please. I don't know. I just gave you the answer, okay? If he fights, it could be 31 months. If he settles, it could be 4 months. If he ignores, I don't know. Maybe there's only been one person in history that's ignored the SEC. I don't know what happens. I have no idea what happens. So, next question. If my fear comes true, will it still matter in a week, a month, a year? Now, in this textbook of coping for anxiety, they're trying to make you think about, okay, you know, maybe you had a breakup, maybe you upset someone, maybe whatever. But friends, let's be honest. We know the price chart. We know, man. We have evidence in history. We know with the price chart, yes, there is an impact, okay? The fear did come true, okay? In 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, it is what it is. But devil's advocate again, okay? I'm just going to tell you something. Friends, you don't know this, but in the SEC law case, in the court with Ripple, SEC said Ripple were the reason why XRP went up over the years, okay? Do you want to know what the Ripple's defense was? You're never going to guess this. I'm going to show it to you right now. I have it for you right now. You're looking at it right now. This is the XRP BTC chart. Yes, this was Ripple's defense. So Ripple showed statistical evidence, charts, and everything. And they showed, hey, SEC, the clowns, you say that Ripple was the reason why XRP went up. But the chart says otherwise. The chart says, and the stats say, the reason why XRP went up was Bitcoin, a non-security, a commodity. I'm not making this up, friends. You can go and look it up yourself. I promise. Not enough people talk about this. In fact, no one talks about it. I'm literally the only person, the only man, right? The only man talking about this. Like, subscribe, bell button on. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm not making this up. This is literally truth. So maybe that's what happens with us. And by the way, it's actually true. I know no one gets it, but it's actually true. The reason why XRP went up is because one, Bitcoin, and two, the XRP army cult. That's actually it. It actually has nothing to do with Ripple. Ripple haven't done anything. Ripple have only dumped on them. Think about that. Ripple have only pooped all over them. Pooped. No Kleenex, no wipe, no towel. Isn't this amazing? Once I've given you this knowledge, this is why you can have confidence walking forward. That's why we can win. But also, that's why I'm telling you, what if Bitcoin doesn't fulfill everybody's wet orgasmic dreams and goes to 300K? What if it stops at 80K? Well, we're probably going to get the price that reflects where Hex, Pulse, and PulseX or any of your altcoins will be. And same as ChainLink, same as Doge, same as everything else, same as Polkadot, same as Solana, whatever bags you may or may not hold, we're probably only going to get the prices reflected by an $80,000 Bitcoin if it stops. That's roughly how we have to prepare for the worst case. So, yeah, it's true that, of course, these imaginary horribles came true in the SEC, but statistically, it was all to do with Bitcoin. This is why I tell you, friends, we are all correlated. We are building a digital city. So I got asked as well. Someone said to me, how come we're all digital? Why can't we go make everything else differently, right? So Mr. Lamont Black, who I made a video for from the Hex movie, just to show you, friends, this is the whole world, okay? We are a digital economy, okay? We are here. There's these little rails here, these little exchanges, okay? Countries, so if you have Australia and then you have America, okay, there are so many parts, friends. You have ships and the internet and everything. You have all these parts, okay? But of course, these are big, efficient economy and systems and planes going back and forth, trading back and forth. With the digital realm, we've only got this one little flaily rail right now. And then you may have Coast here who's doing like the fiat on-ramp to PulseChain, for example. Okay, so that's all we have. Look at all these thousands of connections and then compare these little ones. This is crypto land here, crypto land. Now, it's shaky, but we're early. That's why we are all here, because we believe that in the future, you fast forward 10 years, there's going to be this, all of this. We're expecting that's going to happen. But if you wait for it to all happen, the prices are too high and you don't have the volatility and you don't get the euphoria, and people know how to price this stuff. That's why I'm teaching about Metcalfe's law, because eventually we're not going to have 200,000 people in Hex and PulseChain community. Eventually it's going to be like 2.5 million. And then people are going to do the maths and they're like, wait a minute, 2.5 million. It's statistically near zero that you can grow from 2.5 million to 25 million. Maybe only Bitcoin was able to do it. One coin out of 50,000. So see, people are going to start understanding that. They don't understand that right now. All they see is scam in crypto land, and real world in traditional finance world. That's it. Real and scam. That's all they see right now. We want them to see that. That means we're still early. That still means, unfortunately, I've got to use this terminology. It means there's more suckers out there to buy into the community. That's how Wall Street talks. That's not me talking, friends. This is how the upper elites think. Okay, this is why BlackBerry is coming in. This is why BlackBerry is coming in to do what they're going to do. They know, oh yeah, we've got a lot of suckers who want to buy these Bitcoin. We know there's a lot of suckers who want to buy. Wouldn't it be a shame if it didn't work out so much? So we have political power and will when they hand over all the rights. You see how the game's now working? We don't lose to these guys. We're playing on the same side. You ever heard that saying, swim with the whales? Well, that's what we're doing, okay? We have scuba diving gear and fluffy slippers. Yes, water resistant. We are swimming with the whales. And to finish it off, I want to paint for you the real picture. The real picture is that the SEC's gone after everybody. They've gone after everybody. They haven't gone after ChainLink. That's why ChainLink's part of my core, friends, like deep part of my core. And they've gone after everyone. They haven't gone after Polkadot, but Polkadot, 2,000 devs, still haven't made anything. There's no Polkadot army. Where are they? Just sitting around, rolling around their chairs. Their chairs don't have any squeaks, and I don't see any dusty rooms that they're in, okay? The rooms are too shiny and polished. So everybody else is targeted. The SEC call Matic and Solana and Cardano all securities, right? Cardano fell 3% when the SEC announced it. Hex, Pulse, and PulseX dropped 66% in just 60 minutes on the news. I don't know, friends. This to me, look, on one hand, I'll be honest. Like, if you ask me, how do you interpret this? How do you interpret this? See, don't listen to these news or anybody else, okay? This is the truth, okay? The truth is what Richard tried to do. He tried to play God. You can't play God with the markets. And what does playing God mean? Playing God means I'm going to take your money, all these people, there's a lot of people, I'm going to put it away. And then you're not going to have expectations of it. You're not going to know when it's going to launch. And what you're going to do is you're going to look at this Hex chart going down, and you're not going to know when PulseChain comes out. So you only have two options. One, all of those people, friends, Hex, Pulse, PulseX, that sacrifice. People who need money, see, this is back before launch. They had to sell down on the lows here. So the way Richard did it is he said, well, if I launched early, you guys will sell from the liquidity pool of everybody. I would rather Hex take the beating now. Hex gets whipped. Hex is the martyr. eHex is the martyr coin. Everyone had to sell from the liquidity pool in Hex. You only had like 5 million to choose from, whereas everything else sits there, and you don't know when PulseChain's coming out. And that's what people did. That's why it went so low. And sad enough, I mean, it went lower than that. Okay, so that's why it went so low. Also, if you couldn't sell your Hex, you had to go sell real world items in the bear market. Sell your Bitcoin, sell your Ethereum, go sell stuff around the house. He tried to play God. He tried to teleport us after the launch, after the bear market. He launched at the bottom. But what happened? Unfortunately, the market gods said, you know, you can try fast forward this, but you can't cheat it. The piper's going to come. You're going to have to pay the piper. It comes back to haunt you, friends. The Grim Reaper still came for its souls. Basically, it wanted to come in and take everybody out. That's what it is. So what we are seeing would have happened somewhere. If we launched last year, We would have got this if Bitcoin collapsed on FTX. If we launched it some other time, it would have happened around that news. If we launched it in January, we would have sold down on the USDC depegging. Something would have happened. What I'm telling you is, it was always going to happen. Yes, it's almost like it's a simulation. It's pre-programmed. I've seen every single permutation and combination in markets. Every single time someone tries to play God and cheat it, the market comes and does its thing, man. It's almost like, this is why now I can truly see and I can truly feel why people say before the market goes up, it has to test everyone. I used to hate this saying. I really used to hate this saying. You know why? Because if I'm long with you and I'm thinking about long term, I'm like, man, I've held for so long. Why is it like, who made this rule out there? Where's the market textbook that says before I go up, I have to make you squeal like a little bitch and make you cry in your room, make you think that you've lost everything before I'm allowed to go up? Like, where's the rule that says that? Where's the formula? Well, now you've seen it. Now you've seen it. This is just something you gain. I've been here 12 years, okay? I've seen the biggest market moves you could ever imagine. I've had so many blowouts, blow-ins. I've seen people lose their careers. I go back and I look at the chart and I see what happens before those big moves happen. And every single time, I don't know why. It's like, uh-oh, someone knows something. No, we're going the other way. See you later. Like, I see it every single time. So what do you think is going to happen from here? Are we going to sue? Are we going to fight? Are we going to just accept the litigation? Are we going to ignore? No one knows. I can tell you one thing. For the ecosystem to succeed, right now, PulseChain's got about 10 to 15,000 daily active users. For it to succeed and for us to see the growth that we want to see in PulseX and Hex, we need more applications, more people, more use case, more memes. Yes, even more dexes, more random stuff. Unfortunately, alongside comes that scams. We need a rocket Pulse chain. We need someone to fork Lido DAO. We need people to do that so people hold the staked version of Pulse, because that's a big use case in Ethereum right now. We need all of those things. We need people to come throwing their ideas on the wall, and then that will build everything. But hey, it's not the end of the world. Cardano got to where it got, literally nothing on it. It got there as a ghost chain. So it doesn't mean we can't do it. It just means like, hey, I don't know if there's going to be enough money printing to just slosh things around without a big communal effort. But I'm going to be here defending you to the end, just like me and you and our friendship friends. Always going to be tried and true. Nothing's going to stop us now. Like, subscribe, bell button, and all. I'll catch you in the next one.